All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into a name that just breathes Scottish whiskey heritage, Glenfarclas.
Mm-hmm.
Ever wonder what makes some brands, feel like more than just a name, like a real living tradition?
Yeah, legacy you can actually taste.
Exactly. That's what we're exploring. Our mission is to unpack the unique story, the really steadfast production methods, and that distinct character of Glenfarclas.
Right.
We're drawing on some great sources like Glenfarclas Whiskey from Kempe Udvalg and Whisky.dk presents The Legacy of Glenfarclas Distillery.
Taking you right into the Valley of the Green Grass.
And it's important to remember, this isn't just about a drink. It's like appreciating a living piece of Scottish history. Still going strong today.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, and what's interesting is where some of this insight comes from, especially Whisky.dk. They're Denmark's biggest whiskey store, online and physical.
Okay.
Started small back in 2012, Ulrik Bertelsen and Henrik Olsen, and they've won multiple Gazelle Awards. That's a big deal in Danish business for growth. Wow, okay. So they know their stuff.
They really do. Their huge selection and deep knowledge give us a really valuable perspective on a distillery like Glenfarclas. It's expertise rooted in passion.
Makes sense.
So getting into Glenfarclas, it really gives you a window into traditional whiskey making, doesn't it? And why it still has such a pull.
That sets the stage perfectly. Okay, let's unpack the origin story. Picture this. You're in Speyside, Scotland, Bellendelic.
Beautiful area.
Right, and Glenfarclas Distillery is right there, gets its water from Ben Rins Mountain, just a mile from the River Spey.
That Speyside water is legendary.
It really is. And the name, Glenfarclas, it means Valley of the Green Grass in Gaelic. Kind of paints a picture, doesn't it?
It does. Very evocative.
But here's the bit that always gets me. It was founded officially by Robert Hay in 1836. But then John Grant picked it up back in 1865 for, get this, only 512 pounds.
512 pounds. Even back then. No.
And here's the kicker. It's still in the Grant family's hands. 6 generations later.
6 generations? That's almost unheard of now.
It makes it one of Scotland's only truly family-run distilleries. I mean, just think about the impact of that long-term, independent ownership on the actual whiskey. It's more than business.
It absolutely is. It's like a trust. And what's fascinating is how that family ownership has shaped their whole philosophy.
How so?
Well, the Grant family, they've always operated within their own means. Famously, no debt.
Really? No debt in all that time?
Seems so. And it's not just, smart accounting. It's like a core principle. It's given them stability, fierce independence through all sorts of economic ups and downs.
So they don't answer to shareholders or banks?
Exactly. That's the real insight, I think. It's freedom. Freedom from outside pressure, freedom to craft their whiskey their way, regardless of trends.
Like a purity of vision, but in liquid form?
That's a perfect way to put it. And this independence, it lets them keep that distinct character. They've even mostly resisted independent bottlers, which really strengthens their identity. They stand as this beacon of traditional Scotch production.
A beacon, yeah. Holding fast.
And just for a little extra context, their unofficial roots, they go back even further. Late 1700s, apparently. Way before the official 1836 founding.
Late 1700s. That's some seriously deep history.
Deep history indeed.
And that history, that sheer endurance, it's not just in the paperwork, is it? It feels like it's right there in the production itself.
Oh, definitely.
This family's determination seems to echo in how they make the whiskey. So tell us about those specific traditions that define Glenfarclas, the things they've held on to.
Well, it really comes down to a dedication to, let's say, time-honored practices that many others have just let go.
Like what specifically?
Okay, first off, directly heated pot stills.
Ah, the old way. You don't see that much anymore.
You really don't. Most use steam now. But Glenfarclas sticks with direct fire because they believe it gives a more robust, full-bodied spirit, allows for richer interactions later on.
So it's a deliberate choice for character, not just being old-fashioned.
Precisely. And second, maybe the most crucial element, they're sherry casks.
Right. Glenfarclas and sherry, they go hand in hand.
They absolutely do. It's the cornerstone of their maturation. Mostly European oak, ex oloroso butts and hogsheads. Those are the cask sizes.
And they get them directly from Spain.
Yeah, sourced directly from Jerez through Miguel Martin. That direct link ensures the quality and consistency of that intense sherry influence.
So controlling the cask source is vital.
It's everything for their style. And the insight here is, by resisting some modernization, they're not just keeping tradition alive, they're preserving a specific flavor profile. A taste of whiskey history that's getting rarer.
That makes sense. Preserving flavor, not just process.
Exactly. And despite these traditional methods, they actually have a pretty large capacity. 6 stills, 12 washbacks.
6 stills, that's quite a few.
It is. And get this, over 68,000 casks maturing in traditional dunnage warehouses.
Wow. Dunnage warehouses. Those low, earthy ones.
Yep. They provide incredibly stable, natural conditions. Huge factor in the final character. So they have scale, but combined with tradition.
Scale and tradition, not always an easy mix.
True. And finally, their long fermentation and distillation. It runs over 20 hours a day, 3 shifts. That long process helps develop complexity, builds that robust base.
Okay, so direct fire, specific sherry casks, dunnage warehouses, long fermentation. It all paints a picture.
It does. You start imagining that deep amber color, those really profound, rich flavors that come directly from those casks in that traditional process.
Okay, hearing about those methods makes me really curious about the whiskeys themselves. How does that translate across their range? Is it all heavy sherry, or are there nuances?
Oh, there are definitely nuances. The portfolio is where you really see the artistry, how that sherry influence evolves with age and cask selection.
So where do you start?
Well, their core range is legendary. You've got the 12, 15, 21, 25, and 30-year-olds, all clearly showing that sherry influence, but expressed differently.
Okay.
Take the Glenfarclas 12-year. It's a brilliant intro. Fresh, crisp aroma, little hints of orange, spicy sweetness, taste-wise, dried fruit, maybe a touch of sweet smoke. It's bright, very approachable.
Right, a good gateway to their style.
Exactly. Then you step up to the Glenfarclas 15-year. It's bottled at 46% ABV, a bit stronger.
Okay, 46%. That often helps carry flavor.
It does. And here, the sherry really starts to deepen. You get complex sherry notes, yes, but also subtle smoke, toffee, dried fruits, think dates, figs.
That sounds rich.
It is. Full-bodied palate, sherry sweetness, malt, roasted nuts, even a little peat smoke whisper. And the finish is long, rich. It's wonderfully balanced.
That sounds like a quintessential Speyside sherry bomb, but balanced.
A very elegant one, yes.
Yeah.
But then you have something really iconic, the Glenfarclas 105.
Ah, the 105 cask strength, right?
Right. And not just any cask strength. It was one of the very first cask strength bottlings available, launched way back in 1968.
1968. That was bold back then. Most whiskey was 40 or 43%.
Extremely bold, offering whiskey pretty much straight from the cask, undiluted. It's powerful, intense, full of fruit and spice. It's a real statement.
That really speaks to their independence, doesn't it? Launching that in 68. Not following, but leading.
Absolutely. And for the real enthusiasts and collectors, there are the Family Casks.
I've heard of those. Very sought after.
Incredibly. They're vintage releases starting from 1952, bottled from single casks. Each one is a unique snapshot of a specific year, unfiltered history.
A specific moment in time from the distillery. Wow.
You have the limited editions. These are often older, rarer, maybe unique cask finishes. For example, the Glenfarclas 35-year warehouse edition.
35 years old?
Yeah, at 43%, described as a true gem. Deep amber color, aromas of dried fruit. Dark chocolate, sherry, spice, tobacco, cedar. Just layers upon layers.
Sounds complex.
Very, the taste. Juicy raisin, figs, coffee, honey, caramel. And the finish is just incredibly long, warm, cherry-driven, pure luxury. Shows incredible patience in cask management.
That really does paint a picture. Decades of maturation showing through. And you mentioned collectors. What else fits that bill?
Well, things like the Glenfarclas 50-year, 50th anniversary bottling. Very rare, only 836 bottles. Celebrating John Grant's half-century in the business.
50 years old, tiny number of bottles. Okay, definitely collectible.
Or the Glenfarclas 185th anniversary edition. 6,000 bottles, but blended from casks spanning 6 decades. A tribute to their long history.
6 decades in one bottle. That's quite something.
And then you get really specific things like the Glenfarclas Millennium single casks. These were bottled just for the Danish market, actually.
Oh, interesting. Market exclusives?
Yeah, like cask #24 distilled Jan 1st, 2000, bottled at 56.1%. Or cask #7512 distilled Decan 7/31st, 1999 at 50%. Specific sherry butts, showing the unique character of individual casks.
So even within their style, there's huge variation, especially with single casks.
Huge variation.
Yeah.
But across the board, from the 12-year right up to these ultra-rare bottles, you consistently see that sherry influence and the character from those direct-fired stills. It's their DNA.
It really brings the whiskey itself to life. But, a great brand often feels like more than just the liquid, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's the whole story, the connection.
So what else defines Glenfarclas? What makes the experience stick with you?
Well, they were actually pioneers in whiskey tourism, one of the very first distilleries to open a proper visitor center way back in 1973.
73. That's early for whiskey tourism.
It really is. Shows they've always wanted to connect directly with people, share their story, invite them in.
Open doors, literally.
Yeah. And they do other things too, like sponsorships. They're involved in horse racing at Cheltenham, for example. Builds brand presence outside the whiskey bubble.
Right, gets the name out there.
And it's interesting that mirrors our source, Whisky.dk, in a way. Their big showroom near Colding, they do lots of tastings, master classes. It's about creating that rich experience, educating people.
So both the distillery and a key retailer understand that experience matters.
Exactly. It builds that deeper connection. Our sources even touch on investing in whiskey.
Ah, whiskey investment. That's a hot topic.
It is. And they note how some of these limited editions, the Millennium Casks or the 50-year, they're not just for drinking. They're seen as real investment pieces because of their rarity and brand strength.
Speaks volumes about their lasting value, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It's a testament to the whole package, the quality, the history, the desirability.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening in? As we finish this deep dive into Glenfarclas, a few things really stand out, I think. That incredible independence, first off. Then their unwavering commitment, generation after generation, to traditional sherry maturation.
Sticking to their guns.
Exactly. And the result is this range of rich, complex whiskeys that truly capture the spirit of that valley of the green grass. Glenfarclas, it feels like more than just a distillery. It's living history, craftsmanship personified, a reminder that sometimes holding on to the past is the best way forward.
And that leaves us with a question, really, something for you to think about. In a world that's constantly modernizing, optimizing, maybe even cutting corners, what's the real enduring value of Glenfarclas's stubborn commitment, their dedication to traditional methods, to family ownership?
What does it mean for whiskey's future?
Yeah, for whiskey's future, and maybe even for craftsmanship in general. How does sticking to your roots like that create a legacy that goes beyond just taste? Something, more profound, more timeless, worth pondering, I think.